Good afternoon, John Boar Spirits, and welcome to your Karmic Death reading. Today we're focusing on what does your birth month have to say about your karmic program. What does it mean for you that you chose to incarnate in the month of June, in the 6th month of the year? 6 is a number associated with balance and equilibrium. This is the main topic for your karma today. There are a few ways, either you go to numerology or astrology or other fields of interest for you. There are a few ways to find out what your karma is. But for me, taking into account all these different perspectives and views, it's the best way to go around karma. And it ensures you have a complete understanding of what you have to do in order to liberate yourself from the samsara, well, from the cycle of birth and reincarnations. This karma, based on the month of birth, together with your birthday karma, give you a program of what to do to go to your next life with a clear, free karma. I've divided these readings into 4 groups. You belong to the 3rd group, and you are actually the first month belonging to this, opening this 3rd group, the group of adults. But you are still a young adult. You have quite serious karmic program, but you are still considered young in terms of your karmic debt. I'm going to start with a short numerology introduction, and in the second part I'm going to have a tarot and oracle reading to compare these two different views and see how your program presents itself in your present life. And I think we can start with your numerology report. June-born spirits. For you, you should, or it is recommended, indicated, to make peace and to keep your parents together. To understand both of your parents and to keep them together. Usually, the parents of people born in June are opposite characters with totally different views upon life. So, 2 different people and very much conflictual. So, these 2 so different ways of seeing and approaching life can create a lot of tension in the family of the June-born spirit. A lot of times, the parents of June spirits get to divorce, or they don't get along, or at least not how the June baby, which is all about harmony and balance, not how the June baby would like. You should not keep sides of any of your parents. Just be perfectly balanced between your 2 parents. I remember when I was a child, so I'm a June spirit. And when I was a child, I was oftenly asked, who do you love more, your mama or your father? And I was I have a very important grandmother figure in my life. And this lady, she taught me to say, I love them both equally. I don't know why it was so important for me. I was very young, 3-4 years, when I have like this first memory of her telling me. It was the first time she was with me and she heard someone asking me. And she whispered in my ear, to say that I love them both equally. And somehow that was a teaching that I kept for the rest of my life. And I think it was some karma dealing teaching. The universe was in there. Okay. So the June baby should not take the side of any of the parents. You should not be on the side of your father against your mother or the other way around. It is very much recommended to see them separately for whom they are and to appreciate them and understand them and respect them individually. Moreover, if it's possible, your goal should be to keep the family together. Because basically, you came here to learn how to build up and how to maintain harmonious family relationships. If you manage to do this as a child, so as a young character, you will have a shining karma and a happy and fulfilling marriage. If not, June people will have a particularly difficult time to find your perfect partner or to enter a harmonious marriage. For the parents of the July born spirit, as an advice, if someone has a child born in June, don't go to your child to complain about the other parent. Look at what your father is doing. Your mother is like this or like that. For all parents, this is extremely sick. You need a therapist, a friend, or whomever, but not the child. But especially for the June baby, because it's in his or her karma, her karma. And the parents will have this tendency to go and complain about the other, to find the confidence in the child, because the child is so even that he cannot make his choice. So he will always stay neutral, like Switzerland. And the parent will have this tendency to go, at least to complain. Avoid this. Parents of June born children. Never put the child in the middle. Never complain to him and tell him anything about how the other parent is, because you are overloading his or her karma. So you are putting a lot of weight on your child's karma if you do that. And with the child not knowing that he has or she has this karma, you can even induce a heavier karma than it's in the blueprint by making the child choose between one of the parents. So it's like very, 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 very important, and I cannot repeat how important it is. Okay? And for you as adult June spirit, if you find yourself in this situation, if you have remembrance of you as a child making a choice, just see what you can do about this, because your karma received some extra help from one of your parents or both of them. You as a June born spirit, you are not allowed to choose between your parents, between masculine and feminine. You have to be the one keeping everything in balance. So you have to be that perfect middle point to understand, because from your position you can see and understand both perspectives. That's why their tendency to come and complain and to talk, because you can understand one, you can understand the other. But if one of the parents like brainwashes you and trains you well since you are a child, you will have a possibility to take this parent's side. but just come back to the center. Okay, so I was saying, from your position of the middle point, you can see and understand both sides. That is why it's very important for you to hold the two poles in balance. Even if the parents and for you to make peace. So whenever just one more thing. So even if your parents get into fights, and now I'm talking you as an adult, just try always to bring peace between them. But even if they don't get back together, and even if they divorce, you just have to maintain this understanding in yourself. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a physical thing. Also, having a good relationship with both of your parents shall prove of real help. But if it's not possible, let's say for you in the physical, to keep balance and to maintain peace between your parents, just do it inside of you. The mother and the father inside of you, just keep balance in there if possible. Okay, June babies, if you manage, like I said, so if you manage to fulfill this karmic program, to pay this karmic debt of yours, you get amazing karma and a very good marriage or partnership, a very happy family life. And now that the numerology introduction has finished, let's switch to the second part, which is gonna be this reading. With the archetypes deck here, I'm gonna have 3 archetypes to show us 3 past lives of yours, starting with the oldest, that still influence your current lifetime. So this means that from these 3 past lives, you fulfilled part of the program, but you still had some residual karma left. And you passed it from one life to the other, which brought you to this lifetime with your present karmic program. With the Akashic Tarot, we're going to get some details about these 3 past lives of yours. We're going to switch to the karma cards to find out this major karmic task of yours, of keeping the family together, of learning harmonious family relationships. What is it related to? A house, a planet, or a sign? With the Dream Weaver Oracle, we're going to find out how to complete or achieve this major karmic task of yours. And this is going to be for the Dharma part of the reading. And towards the end, we're going to go to the Dharma, the sacred knowledge you get by fulfilling this karmic program. And with the Eternal Seeker Oracle, we're going to see what exactly are you seeking for? What is this Dharma and this reincarnation? So happy life, a happy family, okay, but what specifically, there you go. And lastly, with the sacred blessings, we're gonna get one or a few blessings guiding your path towards the Dharma. And now let's start, June born spirits, with your reading about the karmic program you are here to fulfill and the Dharma you are here to acquire. Let's see. June, young adults, what are you here to do? One last shuffle, and let's see what 3 past lives are influencing your present life. Okay, we have all 3. So the first one, the life of a king. The second one, the life of a mystic. And in your third and last life, out of which you came directly into the one you're living right now, you are an advocate. An advocate for green. Because with the whole, of the emerald. Okay, the emerald tablets with Thoth, and you are an advocate of Thoth's wisdom. The wisdom of Thoth. The wisdom of the emerald tablets. So the first past life. The king. In the light, we learned enlightenment, leadership, and benefiting those in your charge. But in the shadow, so this shadow brought us to the life of the mystic. This shadow, excessive feelings of entitlement, so too much of an ego. The God complex with this king card in here. So I get, June spirits, I get this God complex with this king, and then just feels appropriate to have a life of a mystic. Okay, you think you're entitled to everything. You think you could do a good job as God. Okay, let's start with a mystic. I want to do something different for this reading. I want to have a card representing this life. Okay, so let's see one representing this present life. What is the archetype we're embracing in this present life? June born spirits. Oh my God. So it's for 2 and 2. So we have 4. We have a blank one. This blank one showing up so late in the reading. So for the first karmic death readings, for the first spirits, I find it very appropriate. But this far in the readings, so we have for this present life, we have a judge, a victim, and a guide. I just want one. So I'm putting all this 3 because of that light one. So that light, okay, we have one. The prince. But we had the king. And now it's the prince. So we had the king in here, in the house. But now this king, it's a prince. Romantic charm and potential for power in the light. In the shadow, using power for self-aggrandizement. With this love and romantic partnership and the blueprint of learning how to establish and build harmonious relationships in the family field for this present life, the prince. So this life feels earthly with the king. This not so much. A mystic, a lot of the time spent in other worlds. For this one, again physical, with all that green. And this prince, again physical. A lot of physical lives. And one spiritual, more spiritual one. Okay. So these excessive feelings of entitlement, this God complex, and this rulership without restraint took us to a second past life as a mystic. In the light, we reveled in intimate union with the divine. So for this lifetime, for sure, we did not have a family. But all these characters appear single. None of these characters is accompanied by other. And we have two feminine and two masculine. Okay. So the feminine mystic with the king. This takes me to the beginnings of time. So the first form of organization was not patriarchy, was matriarchy. And the stories from those times are very cruel. So each spring the king had to die for the feminine to ensure fertility for the next year. So it was a very cruel time. No wonder the patriarchal times we're living now are so, I don't know what to say, so cruel as well. Because if the feminine treated the masculine with cruelty, but let's come back to the reading. So this mystic feminine and this king, they just don't feel like, exactly like the parents of people born in June. They just don't feel right together. They are not looking at one another. At least these characters, let's say the prince is looking timidly towards the lady, or the lady, she's looking towards the green the masculine holds. But this is for the youngish, for the young adult. So you are now as a young adult. In this one, you are a mature adult. And a mature feminine. So these two lives are connected. And from this you go again to feminine. Something like this should have been the right order. But you stayed in the feminine nature for the next one, in the matriarchy. In the light, as a mystic, you reveled in intimate union with the divine. But you had, so in the shadow, somehow you got to the shadow. Let's say you stayed in the light, but somehow this king influences your light. Okay, just give me 1 second, because baby Manolo came to visit and I want to close the door. Okay. Here, the feminine as a mystic. I feel like in those times of matriarchy, this feminine mystic was very cruel. Delusional rapport with the divine. And let's see what you advocated for. In the light, inspires you to put compassion into action. In the shadow, embracing negative causes or committing to causes for personal gain. Okay, embracing negative causes. Something with these flowers. So in this lifetime, with this green, the green witch of the West, the causes you embraced, but you're still carrying some. This is the karma you're carrying in this one. The green in this picture. So the masculine, he holds the flowers, but the green in his hand. Because the flowers are colored, but they are up here. In his hand, he only holds green. Okay, let's go to tarot and see more details. This one we're keeping it here, but we're not clarifying it at all. So this present lifetime is more of a masculine life in nature. And it follows for the Gemini collective after two more feminine. It doesn't necessarily mean that in these two lives you were a woman. Just you were more feminine in nature. And for these two, more masculine in nature. For the life as a king and prince. present and the oldest one. So these two are connected definitely, but here you come as a young adult. So you didn't fulfill this karma as a mature adult. And all these characters, they just like seem to go younger and younger in age. So the king seems the oldest, followed by the mystic. And we get to the prince for this present life. Let's do one more shuffle and let's see. Okay, so these ones for this present life, we're not clarifying it at all. The light of the world with the 4 of roses. For this life, there's an extra piece of information. There's an extra light you're carrying. Because there's one here. And this one, her hand is towards herself and one towards the sky and all around. So she's channeling her own light. And in this one, she's holding this green. But for this, so you have, this is dark blue with a bit of purple. This is purple, this is green, and this is blue. This blue is an extra color for you. An extra, the blue with air, an extra information. Okay. Let's see. For this king past life. Okay. The increscent moon was your healing. Okay, so you can see it here. He's holding the full moon, but there's, let's say, this increscent moon closer, touching that body of his. So this provided healing for you. This king and this mystic life. It feels like in this one, you were a king that had to die in the spring. But you were reborn. Let's say in some cases this ritual would work and the king would be reborn and fertility assured. But in some cases, he would just die. You were one of those cases in which, with the healing power of the increscent moon, you managed to be reborn. So you were healed. And how? As a mystic. Let's see for the life as a mystic. Or did you die in this one and was reborn with the wisdom of the high priestess? Because through this ritual, through this sacrifice, you've learned the fertility of the intuition of the high priestess, so that you can later advocate. The scribe with the mystic, the scribe, Hilarion and Hilarion. Okay. This was definitely, the scribe is the hangman and Hilarion, I don't know who Hilarion is. But it's some sort of a scribe in this one. So he is, okay, I get it. He's the hermit. So the hermit represented by Hilarion, not the hermit, the Hierophant. The hermit. Why did I say it? Was this king maybe a hermit king? That's why maybe this was an offering of yours to participate in this sacrifice. But this was definitely such an evolution. I feel like for you, the collective June I'm reading, this was like maybe the first time incarnating as a female. So there was a lot of struggling to reach this. And this was a very drastic action of the masculine. So the masculine in here did something, yeah, something big. And this mystic, not only the Hierophant, but also the scribe, the hanged man. So this mystic has also the wisdom of the Hierophant, of traditions and establishments, but also the wisdom of the hanged man. The hanged man inspired by Odin. So not just the regular high priest, but also the upside down high priest. So he sees from the vertical axis is the masculine. So he sees from his natural position, but also upside down. So he sees as above, so below. But he recognizes that above, it's a reflection. It's a mirrored reflection of below. Of course, as above as below, but in the mirror, reflected. And with these two cards, this mystic knows this thing. And let's see for this life and as an advocate. I feel for this one with the whole green, I feel, and the blanket in there, I feel Irish roots. So for this present lifetime, you might have this longing for Ireland, or you may enjoy, let's say, I don't know, green or St. Patrick's or beer, or like Irish beer. For this lifetime, the Ace of Roses, commitment. You were very committed to this mission of yours and the world. So this mission of yours was the world to you. There was no room left in your life for anything else. In the Akashic field here, this for the second time. There was no room left in your life for anything else. Your entire world was this commitment to advocate. And you didn't learn. Very solitary lives, these three. No wonder now you're in here to learn. The relationship dynamic of a family. Let's switch now to the Karma card and see this Mercury. It's here. I've seen like the Gemini. I thought it's the Gemini, but it's Mercury. Let's see what the major karmic task is for you, June-born spirits. Let's have 2 more shuffles and let's see what your major karmic task is, and if it's related to a house, the last one, because that second didn't go well. If it's related to a house, a sign, or a planet. To the 12th house. Oh wow. So this is the final visit Gemini spirit pays to the zodiac wheel. So it is in the 12th house. Okay, seeking oneness with all there is. Oneness, this middle point. Oneness, bringing your parents to peace, to oneness. Philanthropy, keep your involvement hidden. Your faith, hidden tendencies. These hidden tendencies to take sides, to choose one part or the other, the feminine or the masculine. Large institutions or overwhelming events. These large institutions or overwhelming events, with that prison bars in there. It feels like the final liberation. Let's take this as the samsara wheel, as the matrix. It feels, June spirits, like for the collective in here is the final liberation. Okay? How can you achieve this major task? So, learning how to build and create harmonious family relationship, it is the final liberation, the final freedom. Large institutions or overwhelming events. So the institution of the family may be an overwhelming event for you. And family is not okay. Family is not necessarily what we see portrayed in our parents' house. For the first marriages in our lives, let's say the first part, or the first marriage, the first 2-3 marriages, depending on the case, or even more if you refuse to take the time in between them and learn the lessons, okay? It can be very karmic relationships and represent a reenactment of the couple that guided you for the first years of life, your parents, of course. So it can be a reenactment of, because as a child, you learn all mechanism, defense mechanism, and how to work with these two typologies. So you will choose to embrace one of your parents' typologies, and you will choose as a husband the different one, because basically you know how everything works. And these first marriages, relationships are very much karmic relationships, in which we separate ourselves from the mother and the father inside of us. Okay, and we unite one self, oneness, and we reunite the self. We become one self once again. I'm gonna do it again. Let's see. For the June young adults, how is it that you can fulfill the karmic task? When the weavers built the sun. So you were there. Of course, in June, the sun is in its power. So for you, the sun was built in June. When the weavers built the sun. I've heard this information that actually the character of Jesus was born in June and not in December. I mean, it was with the church, but December is with the whole mythology and Saturnalia and all those stories. So Christmas is pagan AF. And this Jesus character apparently is born in June. So this is his car. Let's say, did he keep his parents together? Well, his father was God, so Mary should have stayed in the church. But Mary was helped by a physical gentleman. Should we say that Jesus didn't have a harmonious relationship? And all those conspiracy with Mary Magdalene and their children. Okay, let's come back to these June spirits. When the weavers built the sun, if the wild ones come with sticks, weavers watch the dragons fly. So these weavers that built the sun, built this sun strong enough. June spirit, you are the sun in here. So whoever built you as a June spirit, God, the divine principle now, I'm talking not physical parents or anything like that, build you strong enough that when the wild ones come with sticks, these parents, okay, just watch the dragons fly. So in this light of the sun. So your sun, it's warm and welcoming and embracing and happy. When these ones come to fight or to make noise, they become as dragons in flight, just basking into your light. But how to fulfill some? Watch the dragons. This is the part I'm not getting yet. Watch the dragons fly. Let's see with these eyes. So this is like, let's say, feminine, masculine hemispheres. This is the brain in coherence between the two hemispheres. Okay, so don't take sides. When the weavers built the sun. So when your parents built you, and then when they come with fights and arguments, just keep this unified field. Just stay in the middle point. So this is you, these are your parents. And let all these dragons fly and keep them in perfect... Oh, this is beautiful, this card. I just see it. Just keep your parents, these two perspectives. You stay in the middle point. Keep them unified. And this is it for your dharma, for your karma. Let's go to your dharma. Infinity. Again, you are in here. Let's see for your dharma. What is exactly that you are seeking for? What is the dharma for you, June-born spirits, if fulfilling this karmic program and paying your karmic debt? One last shuffle, and let's find out. June, young adult, the law, number 13. So you learn the law. And this is the law of the universe with the number 13. The laws of death and rebirth. So your major dharma, you will understand the cause behind the matrix. The law of the matrix and the cause of the matrix. I was mentioning Odin with the Hangman card in there earlier, and now I feel like mentioning, and we had Thoth. Now we have Thor. So Nordic, something with the North. Okay, we have Irish, Nordic mythology, something with the northern lands and the northern lights. And one last shuffle for Gemini spirits. Gemini. I said Gemini spirits. For June-born spirits. So maybe, okay, this Nordic mythology is for the Gemini part, for the first part of the June. And then, let's go to the second. So for the Cancers. Because it only happened in one other reading. Other than that, I just try to stay as away as possible from the signs. But in yours, again, this Gemini Nordic. Nordic Gemini. And for the Cancers, do we get anything for the Cancers? Nothing. Okay. Okay, nothing. I'm thinking of the July I did. Okay, sorry for... I'm thinking maybe the Cancer was more powerful in there. That's why we have this shy Cancer in here. Okay, let's see. June born spirits. This one, okay, so this one, number 19, the ancestor, it's for the Cancers. The ancestor for the Cancers. And I'm going for you now to that mitochondrial Eve with this ancestral feminine. So when you were reborn as the mystic in here, you took the form of an ancestral woman. Okay, Cancers. And now let's go to June born spirits. To all June born spirits, what blessing is guiding your path? Today is, oh my God. Okay, let's see what blessings we have to. The identity and Gaia. Number 23 and number 33. These are the two blessings. I feel again, like, just go. So Gaia is for the Cancers. And the identity is for the Gemini. Gemini, you're going to remember, this is how, if the cards want it, and the energy is so powerful now. So towards this end of the reading, the energy of the two signs, it feels like with the two parents, okay? So it's just like, now these two signs feel like these two opposite parents of the June-born spirits. This is how the June-born Gemini and the June-born Cancer feel. Like the parents so different from one another. Like the parents of the June-born spirit. Okay, I hope I said it correctly in there. So for you Cancers, the remembrance, the ancestor, Gaia. Okay, so with the whole, because I was wondering, so if this is Nordic, what is for Cancers? For Cancers is Greek mythology. So you are Mother Gaia, okay? Where you have the blessing of Mother Gaia. And for the Gemini, remembering the identity. Not one or the other, not feminine or masculine, but the one identity, the one reunited. That is the blessing. Let's see for the Gemini. Something with turquoise, with the crystal. I did have it in one of the first readings, but it was not for, I don't think it was for your sign. I feel like taking one blessing. So this is for, but now let's reunite everything. And for the June-born spirits, let's have one oneself blessing. And let's have this, because Gemini is first and Cancer is towards the end of June. And let's have these two parents look towards each other. The dream in there. This is the dream of every June-born spirit. And maybe the solution for you June-born spirits is to go to the feminine nature in both your mother and father. Because the feminine is the one that is calm and peaceful. Masculine is more towards action, fighting. So the key in here is the feminine nature. This is the destiny, yeah. Number 2 for the High Priestess. The fifth world in here. This is your destiny in the fifth world. Number 2. And she's looking towards us. And it feels like she's channeling the power of the Gemini identity and the Gaia Mother Cancer. So the Gemini father, let's say, with the identity, and the Cancer mother, and now she's looking towards us. I'm just gonna have something, a trinket or whatever it comes. A question mark. So we have a question mark. So this reading, it's left with a question. So it's still some uncertainty in here. Some uncertainty upon the destiny in here. I still feel like doing something else, but I don't. I'm still thinking what? With this uncertainty. Let's have an eternal seeker for this a card for this uncertainty. What is still uncertain in the destiny of the oracle? The prophecy of the oracle. Shall it be fulfilled? Okay, this is it, and I'm adding number 2 and number 3. Let's say the High Priestess and the Empress. But let's just leave it here. Will the prophecy of the oracle shall be fulfilled in regards to your destiny, June-born spirit? Okay. This is it for this karmic reading. I will see you in one of the next karma readings or any of the other ones. Wishing you a happy and joyous rest of your day, and see you in the next one. Bye.